Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we're checking out the new Dino Trackers Wild Raw Dryptosaurus. Another new species I was really excited about when it was announced. I believe this is the first ever Dryptosaurus figure, which is kind of cool. Also, next year we're getting one from Beast of the Mesozoic. So we're going to have two Dryptosaurus figures out in less than a year. So it's nice to see this species getting some love. Now, I end up getting this figure from Amazon. I think they retail for $17.99 now. I'll leave that Amazon link down below in the description. And they're also being found in store at Targets. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before these actually start showing up at Walmart also. Now, let's just go with the package really quick. Before we crack this figure open, we got blue and beta, nobody cares. Jurassic World logo, Dino Trackers logo down here. The Dino Tracker thing has each species in their own biome. This one is, I believe, a forest biome. And then go around the back, we get a picture of how its wild raw action works. And then down here are the other figures available in this Dino Trackers wave. I got the Diabloceratops and the Chronosaurus. The less said about Eocar, the better. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this thing open and take a closer look. And here is the Dryptosaurus out of the packaging. I have to say, a really nice figure, for a mainline figure at least. Really, like I said, I was really excited that they did a Dryptosaurus. It's a kind of obscure species. Even though it looks like an Allosaurus, it's actually related to the Tyrannosaurs. And it was one of the first large theropod dinosaurs ever discovered in North America. Hails from the good old state of New Jersey. So yeah, really like the color scheme on it. I like that black and light gray and that dark purple on the snout. Really wish more of that purple was used throughout the body. I think it really would have gave this figure a nice contrast and look. That purple kind of reminds me of the jungle version of the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World Evolution. Hey, maybe someday Mattel will repaint that Indominus in some Jurassic World colors, because I will definitely buy it. That's a good toy. But for the most part, it's a decent mainline figure. It definitely has one of the weirdest tails I've ever seen on a Mattel figure. They are definitely taking some really big artistic liberties with some of these figures. You have a lot of spikes or quills, whatever it is, going down the side of the tail. Really gives it a unique look from all their other theropods. It's definitely not accurate, but hey, I don't mind some of the liberties Mattel does take with these figures. Now for some measurements, this figure is 12 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, or just under 30.5 centimeters, and just about 6 inches tall to the tallest spike on its head, or about 15.25 centimeters. So Dryptosaurus in real life was around 25 feet long, or 7.5 meters. So put this figure somewhere in the 125 scale range. And now let's take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with the head. Pretty decent head sculpt. Dryptosaurus is known from very, very incomplete remains, so pretty much all its reconstructions are just guesswork. But, this is a typical Jurassic World style theropod head. We have the big oversized teeth, no lips, not a big deal. Like I said, not buying these figures for accuracy, we're just buying them because we like them. You got some nice large scale sculpted all over the head, especially along the lips. Eyes painted yellow with a black pupil. You have this beautiful splash of deep purple. Absolutely love it against the black. Like I said earlier, it reminds me of the jungle version of the Indominus Rexus, which more of this purple was used throughout the figure. Lower jaw is cast in this lighter gray plastic, and opening the mouth up, we have much more proportionate teeth on the bottom jaw. Inside the mouth, as we set off the sounds, are all cast in glossy pink plastic. And then going down to the top of the head, we have these row of really large spikes that are the largest at the base of the neck, and those spikes go all the way down to the tip of the tail. Side of the neck, you have all these large osteoderms, nice folds and wrinkles and scale detail, and nice pattern of this gray paint. Definitely nice pattern. It doesn't look like it's just randomly applied. It looks like it was actually thought out. Going down to the arms, nice and muscular. Hand claws aren't painted, typical from almost every mainline Mattel figure. Not liking the trend of them just coloring the arms on the figures a different color. I know it's away from the, save on a paint app. It's just cheaper to cast it in a different color plastic. But I will say on Dino Trackers, at least the paint apps kind of transition into this abrupt color change on the arms, unlike previous releases. So you have all this, light gray pattern right here, and it goes right to about the shoulder, so it would transition into this color. Wish there was some black on here, but like I said, they're doing this to save on paint apps. For the rest of the body, you have some really nice fine scale detail all over it. And let's move this piece of dog hair off it. More spikes along the back, going down to the hind legs. Really nice scale detail, a lot of variation on the legs, going down to the toe claws, really long toe claws that are not painted in. And then on the back right here, we have the dewiest of dew claws, definitely one of the largest looking dew claws I've ever seen on a Mattel figure. And let's do the fax app for those who want to scan it in. And then going down to the tail, same thing right here. You have that light gray pattern, and then it transitions into this different colored tail. At least they're doing a better job of having the paint apps run into the tail. Still really abrupt, and it's not really color matched, but it's a better job than what they're normally doing. And now let's talk about this tail. I like it. It's really wild and out there with all these spikes coming out the side. And, this isn't accurate, but like I said, really like the artistic liberty they took with this. It just makes this figure stand out from the rest of Mattel's theropods. And now for articulation, pretty standard on this figure. Arms can move forwards and backwards. They are on a hinge, allows you to swing them out. Hind legs can move backwards and forwards, and there is a hinge joint at the hip to help with stability. Completely pointless tail rotation, and the rest of it is tied to the action feature. So what you want to do is there's a little lever right here, and turn it from side to side. You activate different levels of aggression. And if you move it further, you'll get a different roar. I don't really like the action feature on the theropods in Dino Trackers. All you really do is get the side to side and mouth opening movements. I just wish it was a button just for the jaw, just to open up like this. I really don't need all this head swinging, but hey, it is what it is. At least the lever is much better hidden on these figures than the crap that they pulled in Dino Escape. Moving on with comparisons, first up, here it is with one of the human figures, the Hammond Collection Alan Grant. And next up, let's do a couple of smaller Hammond Collection figures. Here it is with the Gallimimus and Dilophosaurus. Let's do one more Hammond Collection comparison. Here it is with the new Concavinator. And sometimes I just want to point out, I think, like I said, these retail for like 17, 18 bucks now. The Hammond Collection figures in this size class only retail for like maybe $3 or $4 more. And just look at the difference that you get. You get paint apps throughout the entire body, loads of articulation. Yes, I know some of the budget is eaten up by the electronic sounds in these figures, but it just shows you what a good value the Hammond Collection is. We're getting figures that are far superior than the mainline stuff for only a couple bucks more. And next up, let's do some of its Wild Roar wave mates. Here is the amazing Kronosaurus, definitely one of the best figures in Dino Trackers currently. And next up here is the Diabloceratops. And like I said earlier about the the one color arms on a lot of the figures now, at least in Dino Trackers, they're doing a better job of transitions. So you can see that they did that on the Diabloceratops. So yeah, it's not my favorite thing, but at least they're somewhat trying now to blend the colors in with the different colored plastic. And let's get out some of Mattel's Tyrannosauroidea figures. Like I said, Dryptosaurus is related to Tyrannosaurus. We have the Sinotyrannus, which is a Dino Trackers figure. Here it is with Proceratosaurus, and lastly, Alio-Ramos. So yeah, Mattel is definitely does a great job of giving us some really, really obscure dinosaur species, and that's like my favorite part about them. And lastly, let's finish this up with the gold standard of all Mattel toys, the Hammond Collection T-Rex. Be the gold standard till they eventually give us a Hammond Collection Spinosaurus or Indominus Rex. We know it's coming, we just don't know when. So final thoughts on the Wild Roar Dryptosaurus, another figure I really like from this new series. Gotta say, I'm liking Dino Trackers better than the Dominion line. Dominion was their premiere, the last big movie in the franchise for now, and yeah, these Dino Tracker toys I think are actually painted and sculpted a little bit better than most of the stuff that we got in Dominion. So yeah, really cool figure. Like I said, I'm just surprised how much I'm liking Dino Trackers right now. I like the color scheme, the black, that light gray, and deep purple. Really all blends really nice together. It's another obscure species, and I love when Mattel does, obscure species, except for the, Caria. But other than that, yeah, good figure. Highly recommend it. And like I said earlier, ended up getting this off of Amazon. The link is down below in the description, or you can just head on over to your Target stores, and I'll find one on the shelf. And weirdly enough, I hit Target almost every day because I collect Transformers too. And I'm always going at least like 5-6 days a week. I have yet to see a Dryptosaurus on the 3 Targets near me in my area. Every other figure from Dino Trackers is on the shelf, but for some reason my Targets has not gotten any Dryptosauruses yet. So that will do it for the review. It's that time of year again where I do my top Mattel figures of 2022. Normally I do a top 5, but Mattel has released a lot of figures this year. We finished the year off with Dino Escape, then we rolled into Dominion, now we're into Dino Trackers, and in between all that was Hammond Collections. So a top 5 won't work this year, so it's going to be a top 10 list, and I'm going to work on that over the weekend. That video should be out sometime next week. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys for the next one.